It's 12 minutes to 7 o'clock. Welcome back. Now, children are not getting enough sleep. That's according to an article in the Journal of Pediatrics in the United States, saying that one of the leading contributing factors is the use of screen technology. Other reasons include a glut of homework, an overload of extracurricular activities, and an irregular bedtime routine. Well, researchers are warning that a chronic lack of sleep can have multiple negative effects on a young person's wellness. Well, to discuss this morning, we're joined by Nesta Institute Sleep and Fatigue Consultant, J.D. Ace. Mr. Ace, good morning. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Dan.
How much sleep did you get last night?
8 hours of sleep.
I know we're talking about young people, but you got 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I got just under 7.
Okay.
What's the minimum that we need as adults? Let's start there first before we talk about children.
Okay, minimum of as adults is about at least 7, barely minimum is 6 hours, not less than 6 hours. But
7 is a good minimum.
7 hours of sleep in the productivity and the challenges that we have today. 7 hours
sadly,
to 8 hours is a good number.
Sadly, none of us who work for morning news today can have that luxury of 8 hours of sleep. Nobody in the technical team in the newsroom. We hardly sleep that long. But healthy sleep is important. And according to this research, that's why we have you here, is that there's a research that shows, for example, this is an example, that nearly 50% of American children are not getting enough sleep these days, despite everybody understanding that it's important to rest because of screen time. These devices that we all use nowadays and we seemingly can't live without.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that's a very high number of kids in America. I don't know what the stats will be in South Africa, but I think youngsters are really busy on screens.
We use American and Australian statistics to see what the behavior in South Africa is, and it's quite close. We deal with the same type of behaviors in South Africa as well. And that's true. 50% is quite a large number. In fact, the National Sleep Institution in America states that 72% of school-going children they take their cell phones and tablets to bed with them at night.
So it's that bad?
It's that bad. And about 13% of those get woken up by text messages and phone calls, etc.
Okay, before we get into what you can do as a parent to help your child manage their screen time so they can have a healthy sleep, what are the effects? What are the negative effects of not sleeping enough?
Okay, it's not necessarily the screen time. I know we're focusing on the screen time now, but bad sleeping habits in children and toddlers and babies and young adults, the typical, if you consider the sleep hypnogram and the stages of sleep where people need to spend a certain amount of time in, if we don't spend enough time in certain important sleep stages like deep sleep and REM sleep, we stand, and that stands for adults and children, stand the risk of overweight and obesity, high blood pressure, sugar problems, concentration problems, accidents at work and at school,
so it can affect your performance and concentration as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, screen time, okay, it's one of those things that are affecting our children, as we know, but how can we help the children to understand and get into the habit of sleeping enough?
Then the first responsibility is that adults and parents need to, first of all, see the responsibility that they have as parents, and they also have to see the importance of sleep. If we consider that nobody taught us how to sleep, we all know how to exercise, we know how to eat healthy, but not many people know the importance and know how to sleep well. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's not necessarily screen time and tablet time or technological time. It's more an effect of having a proper house rules in place to cut off screen time at a certain time, at least an hour before bedtime. To have, for instance, a charging station at home where they must put their phones an hour before bedtime, have their phones charged or in a certain spot in the house, and spend some family time, and then just generally practice good sleep hygiene, as a family.
I mean, you mentioned that sometimes they take it to their bed, so it's important to remove technology from the bedroom.
From the bedroom, and that includes TVs, I don't know, at least the desktop computers should be switched off, because many of our children study in their bedrooms and so forth.
So that bedtime routine is important, what time you go to bed and stuff like that. Because, as you said, to get that 7-8 hours sleep, if you don't do it like that, you won't succeed.
For children, it's a bit more. They need more sleep.
How many hours?
For school-aging children, they need about 9 to 11 hours of sleep on primary school level, and on high school level they can get away with at least 8 hours, not more than 10 hours of sleep. So if we remember that children are still growing up, and when we go into certain stage of sleep phase, we release a hormone called the human growth hormone, and obviously, you know, that hormone needs to get released to help our children grow and get strong and, you know, fight diseases and build the immune system stronger.
JD, thank you very much for your information there. Basic stuff, guys. Very important to get into that sleep routine and follow the discipline. Remove